Now I'm wondering if I started early last time.
No.
What is going on, people? This is Judge Mentalist. I am still thinking about that last episode intro and how I somehow got off track. Had no idea where I was. I brought that plane in for a landing, and I was a good, 30 feet shy of the runway. And good thing there was some grass in the field to just dig up and get to where I needed to be. We've got another exciting episode for you, and here we go. Now I decided I was going to try to overshoot it. We're going to compensate. We're going to balance this out.
Right. That's when you end it too early. This when you're like, I'm just going to keep it, whatever, however long it goes.
Let's be real, okay? We're right here in the midst of holiday season. I've got a foot and a half out the door already.
Right.
This is the regular episode. We probably need to do a bank episode because of me being on the cruise. Although I will get. Yeah, we definitely need, because I leave on our normal recording day. Right. So
we'll record a bank episode either probably one after this one, because I have to go to a light show on a cathedral and a special date night with the missus. But before, we'll find out the day to record a bank episode, or maybe a couple of bank episodes. We're out of bank episodes, so we should definitely log some in there to have some on the wire. We should have some episodes in the bank, which helps to have a bank episode. Yeah, listeners, sexy travelers, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening whenever this is hitting your ear holes. I hope that it is good. Yeah, holiday season. This episode, speaking of holiday, happy Kuju Jakulea to those who celebrate Kwanzaa. Today is the second day of Kwanzaa. It's all about self-determination. I followed the tenets of Kwanzaa all 6 days after Christmas. Happy belated Christmas to all our listeners. Man, I hope you had a Merry Christmas. I hope your holidays so far have been good. Hope you're getting ready to gear up for New Year's. You got any New Year's plans?
I'm going to be on a boat.
You'll be on a boat. That's right. You're going to be on the Disney cruise.
Yeah. And so check this. Little bit of I don't want to call it a debate, a conversation, a discussion. Disney cruises, there are a lot of things that they keep away from you. They don't tell you about ahead of time.
Right.
And it took us some digging to figure out how hooking up to the Wi-Fi works. And boy, oh boy, does it look like it's expensive.
Really?
Yeah. So I am of the mindset of let's just disconnect completely. She's like, well, we need to at least hook up to one device, this, that, and the other. But long story short, I intend to be completely off the grid for that time frame. If she chooses to hook up a computer to the Wi-Fi or an iPad or whatever she wants to do to connect to the real world, that is her journey. I am out.
How long is the cruise for?
It's only 5 days because we're taking the kids, and I am a firm believer that when you're taking somebody to something like that's never done it before, it's certainly not the time to jump in with both feet. Like 5 days is enough to kind of, pun intended here, test the waters.
Right.
Make sure that somebody's not like super averse to the experience or the moving of the boat or anything like that. I don't anticipate issues, but again, also a pretty tight time window because the kids are actually going to be missing a day of school, which isn't a big deal on the return end, but I wouldn't want that to extend into like a week. You know what I mean? So, it was the best fit for the schedule, kind of like that very first cruise. Remember, a lot of my delay, and this is all just excuse talk here, but a lot of my delay in ever getting on a cruise was finding one that fit into my schedule until I just shared my calendar with the travel agent and said, fuck it, you figure it out.
And they
kind of the same thing. This one fit enough. So here we go.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure you're going to have a great time. And bon voyage and all that goodness. I had another question. Oh, and the good news is that your recorder for as you meet travelers on the ship doesn't require the internet.
That's
So you can
correct.
just bank all those interviews and
This
anybody you
is
talk
this
to
is
and chat
battery
with.
powered. It goes onto an SD card. It's my understanding, and here's the thing: we have tomorrow night, Friday night, from the time of this recording. So this isn't a plug for a show that happened last Friday, from your listening perspective. Um, we are doing one of our Elkton Magic open mic format shows.
Nice.
So I'm going to have a bunch of different performers in the room, and we'll probably try, at least kind of on a trial run. Let me pull somebody aside, at least somebody that drove here from a little further than anybody else, or who's not around all the time, or something like that, to
Right.
just sit down and play around with the equipment. Um, just because what my understanding is, this thing's got 4 ports to plug in. This is the production meeting that everybody's looking for on a post Christmas episode. So it's got 4 microphone ports to plug in, and when you hit record, it on that SD card will record 4 separate tracks if you have 4 mics plugged in. So that's kind of the you get it, you download it. If there's an issue or something,
Right.
you sync them back up. Again, we talked about this because of the 1, 2, 3 clap thing. Those claps
Right.
create a spike on the whatever, and yeah.
Right. From our friends over.
Hey, buddy, nice podcast.
Yes. So
yeah, some behind the scenes. Also, I'm trying to make sure I mess around with all these different soundboards that we have, because we had a minor sound issue. Speaking of tech and syncing and clapping, where previously I played quite a few and none of them had downloaded. So it was really hilarious watching you and me dance to music that I couldn't hear. This is OB music. I'm just over here grooving. I'm all, where's the music? Oh, that's
we
weird.
heard it at the time.
We did hear it at the time. We can hear it. Yeah, as we're recording.
That's our
we can hear
story.
it,
We're
and we're
sticking
to it. That's right. So I want to make sure that there's enough spikes that if I do have to sync it later, I have visual aspects to do that too. What are the odds you're going to see any celebrities on board?
Well, I mean, are you talking about Mickey Mouse? It was like 100%.
I'm pretty sure you're going to see quite a few of the cartoon celebrities.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a holiday cruise on Disney.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure there might be some celebrities that, have taken advantage of that cruise and that have kids and they want their kids to see, fireworks on a Disney cruise. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Right? So
Disney's always well known for their fireworks. Yeah. So no, honestly, this is the first time that I've thought of that as a thing. And I'm not going to lie to you. I generally don't really care with respect to the celebrities. I kind of have this, you got a drop for this about.
It is hard to look at a celebrity going, imagine the celebrity on the toilet taking a massive dump.
Dude.
As I sit here and I mentioned this, it's kind of like those words. And as sometimes you say something and the words come out of your mouth and you want to reach out and catch them because it's like, no, this motherfucker set me up for this. You only asked if I thought I was going to see celebrities so that you could play that drop. I didn't need to fucking cue you to play the drop. You cued me and I fell into the trap. So here we are.
Here we are.
I don't know who.
The funny thing about that, and guys, you're really getting some behind the scenes work now. The funny thing about that was I was initially just queuing up so I could play the drop, but as I was queuing you up, I honestly got curious that you actually might see some celebrities on board because it is a Disney cruise. It is for New Year's. It can be a high ticket item. It is some place that you might actually see.
It is. I just want. I'm not going to put numbers out there, but it is.
Right. Right. So you might actually get a chance to, see some celebrities, and you are also a local celebrity, if you will. You and I are both local celebrities in our locations, right? I'm becoming a bigger, minor, tiny, itsy bitsy celebrity, at least in the digital nomad group. here. That kind of happens when your name is Big Sexy. People tend to remember that, they acknowledge it, and everybody, of course, when they first meet you, they have the, oh, who's this? They go, oh, who's Big Sexy? What's that? And then you get hit with what's your real name and all that kind of stuff. Oh, I did have some fun last night. No, 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago, I went to a secret Christmas concert. Speaking of Mimi, she invited us to a Christmas concert in Malaga Center. And it was, very typical of your local community orchestra playing Christmas music in a museum, playing a free show in a museum, right? It wasn't super high philharmonic quality. It was enjoyable. Um, it was really neat. If you're on my social medias, I posted some pictures and I'll post some videos of the actual event. They played some of the classic hits or whatever. And, but it was, afterwards, we all went to dinner. I almost forgot where I was going with the story. Afterwards, we all went to dinner, and there was a couple there that didn't speak any English, really. Very little English. We're all talking around or whatever. And of course, they're older couple. And the gentleman asked me my name. And, of course, I said my name is Big Sexy. He doesn't speak English, so he doesn't understand that I'm saying Big Sexy. And then I go Grande Sexy, which is Big Sexy in Spanish. Right. But of course, that doesn't make sense as somebody's nombre. So he's like, tu nombre is Big Sexy? But what? And he looks over at his wife, like very, very confused. And inside, I am cracking up because I'm watching him struggle with the language barrier and the concept that somebody's name is Big Sexy. So I give him my business card. Of course, it says Big Sexy on it. And he's like, Big Sexy? Tu nombre? And he's looking at me going, tu nombre? Tu nombre es Big Sexy? Sí, tu nombre es Big Sexy. Mi llama es Big Sexy. Tu nombre. Oh, no. Like, it was absolutely fabulous. Probably one of the best reactions. I get that a lot, but I can usually clear with the language barrier. I was hanging out with my friend Abby, who you may remember from the interview when I was on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, Abby was a first-time cruiser on Virgin Voyages when it came over. She's in Malaga visiting for a month. Shout out to Abby. You can find her at Abby Camper on the Instagram. She's in town, so she went to us with didn't make it to the concert, but came to us for dinner afterwards. And we sat and talked. I sat next to her, and it's funny because she goes, "Do you really just go by Big Sexy all the time, like everywhere?" And I went, "Yeah. How do you not?" Then I realized we didn't really talk a lot on the cruise. I met her. She was cool. We hung out a couple of times. I got her on the podcast. Like, that was about the extent of us hanging out. And so she never really heard the story of the name, wasn't aware that is just as I go by, how I go around. We did a round robin. Mimi had us all do a round robin. Everybody say where we're from, what our favorite Christmas memory was. And of course, I was, Big Sexy, and then I said my favorite Christmas memory, because I don't remember what it was now, because it was hard for me to pick then. It'd be hard for me to remember what I said then. Now I can look at the video. I got to record it. But and then of course that's when she pulled me to the side and asked me that. So it's always fun to have that experience. So I am becoming a bit of a local celebrity here in Spain. That first cough caught me off guard. I was not ready for it.
By the time I was ready to jump in, you were back at it. So
yeah. So, but speaking of which, I asked, what do you have a favorite Christmas memory?
I don't. Nothing stands out. That's for sure. Not really. Nothing. I mean, there are like conceptual memories of some traditions from eons ago that I don't place to specific evenings. Just normally like, hey, this is what would, things that would happen, and all that stuff changes over time.
Was your family big when you were a kid? Was your family big on Christmas, like traditions and stuff? Like what kind of traditions did you have in the household?
Some, like like my great aunt would always do like a Christmas Eve party, and for whatever reason, like it sticks into my mind this punch bowl and this punch that was made that when you went to the store and got it, it came in this frozen block, and then you put it in, you put ginger ale and probably booze. I don't know, I'm talking about when I was a kid, so none
Right.
of this was really on my radar. But I remember that it starting as this frozen block and turning into over time
A slushy
the
punch.
punch. No, not really. No, nothing. I mean,
Interesting.
normal stuff. Nothing over the top. No.
Right. Do you remember your first Christmas as a father? Like, what was that like?
Do I?
I mean, your kids are older now, so
Well, I mean, my kids were born in October, so that makes
So your first
first.
Christmas as a dad happened pretty quickly. You were
Yeah, I
still
mean, yeah, I had like a 2.5 month old at the time. Yeah,
yeah
so
you were still dealing with just being a dad, not worrying about. So technically their second Christmas would be
the
the
first,
the
yeah,
first
yeah,
big
substantial
Christmas
one.
for them. Yeah. When you're having stuff like that. And how far you have two kids, right?
Yeah, 4 years almost to the day
Oh
apart.
wow,
Their birthdays are 2 days apart. Um,
that makes October
which was
fun.
really it was a scary, not scary, scary is the wrong word, but it was a thing. As due date for child 2 was getting closer, my ex-wife, her and her older sister, 5 years apart, born on exactly the same day.
Oh
And
wow,
apparently that created a lot of strife and was kind of a nightmare throughout their lives growing up. So she wanted nothing more than to them not being born on the same date.
right,
Mission.
right. She's able to
So
hold out for 4 more days.
2 days,
Or
but
the
yeah,
or the they're 2 days apart. That's right, 2 days apart.
4 years, 2 days, right?
4 years,
Yeah,
2 days. Numbers are stupid,
yeah.
but yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so yeah, it's that was kind of a thing back then. Um, but yeah, I mean, nothing really like over the top that stands out. I mean, it's just gathering together and gifts and
The typical stuff. Yeah, I think
typical.
okay. I remember the story that I told at the dinner was my favorite. My favorite Christmas memory, actually a pretty recent one. Um, it was not mine and Nilla's first Christmas together, but it was one. It was either right before we got married or right after we got married. Time again is stupid. I'm hey, so much stuff happens. I'm hazy on dates, but whatever it was, we were going to. She booked a trip to Seattle, so we went to Seattle for Christmas. She set up for January. She booked a trip or March, January, March. I think March. Anywho, but she had booked it and said it, and for Christmas, we love escape rooms. We love doing puzzles and stuff like that. So one of her gifts to me was this scavenger hunt for clues and puzzles that she had set up. And we're at my mom's house because we used to go to California for Christmas. We stayed with my mom. So we're at my mom's house, and she had set up different clues in different places. Um, that I had to find these little plastic sheets that when I put them all together spelled out Seattle.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, when I one cell by itself was just a bunch of lines, right? But as I put all cells together, eventually it spelled the word Seattle. That was really awesome. I had
Oh,
a
like so they stacked on top of each
they
other,
stacked on top of
and
each
then
other, and
it.
you can see through them, and all
Ah,
together all said the word Seattle. And I like the hunt, the discovery, then the trip was a lot of fun. Shout out to Sean and Amanda who came with us on the trip. Like all of that is wrapped up into that memory. So that right now, that I think is my top favorite Christmas memory. I have a bunch when I was a kid. The problem I was an only child, so I was spoiled.
right.
So I tend to get what I asked for. Um, Not everything that I asked for, because my mother would say she was very keen on not getting me every single thing And then both my mom and my dad, they were divorced when I was 3, but they all still raised me together. Would give me presents, and they did the Santa thing for a while, and they were smart. Some presents came from them.
Spoiler alert to anybody listening about
About the
the
Santa
Santa thing.
thing. The Santa
Yeah,
thing. Yeah, yeah. I don't say one way or the other. I just say the Santa thing. They did
okay.
the Santa thing.
Just just
Um,
just just
they,
a
they were
potential warning.
they were in contact with the Holly Jolly fellow, and some gifts came from the parents. Some gifts came from Santa. Um, so I would kind of remember that. And I was sitting back listening to, I think I was listening to ICS, and they were talking about Santa and all that kind of stuff. And I'm trying to remember um, how old I was when I became disillusioned about that whole process.
Mm-hmm.
When the behind the scenes was revealed, and then I don't know how long I hung on to it as a kid. Like, I don't remember that split. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't remember the discovery and then the shattering of my belief system, uh, and then any kind of shift. I don't think I cared really, right?
Right.
Because it doesn't. It's not a lasting memory. It's not a stamp in my brain. So I'm imagining that I took it in stride, and then you start to make your own assumptions and ideals, and then you just go with the flow. I'm a big I love Christmas. Christmas is probably one of my favorite times a year. One of my favorite holidays. My favorite time of year is late summer, but my favorite holiday is Christmas time. Because I love giving gifts. I'm a gift giver, right? Like, that's one of my core beliefs. I love the joy in thinking of somebody, knowing them well enough to provide them something, and then them going, "Oh, thank you, very happy," or "Oh, you shouldn't have." And I love saying, "No, I know I didn't have to, but I did it because I'm thinking of you," and that
See,
is a good
that's
warm feeling.
it's my position on gift giving outside of immediate family is very situational. Like, there's nobody that I feel or want to feel the need to purchase a gift for each and every year. However, when I purchase gifts for people, they may or may not be centered around the traditional gift giving times, but they are because I found something perfect for that person.
Right? Yeah.
And me giving that gift with a substantially lower frequency, but quality versus quantity, I guess, is the easiest colloquialism to say. That's my preference. Like, you may not get something from me every year, however, when you do, fuck yeah, it's for you.
Right. Yeah.
Because
I'm
otherwise you end up with a closet full of ties.
right. Right. Yeah. I make sure that if I get something for somebody, that it's that is for you. Like, I didn't just go into some random gift store and buy a bunch of this one thing and then
Because your name was on a list, right?
gave it out to everybody I know. Like, I do have a list. Yes, people's names are on it, and if you're listening to this, your name is probably on that list as well. And if you're listening and I haven't ever given you a gift, it's because you haven't ever talked to me enough to let me know what would be a good gift enough for you. But there are times, like, when I'm out and about. Like, I had a coworker when I worked at the Stratosphere, um, who loved owls. Right. So now, anytime I'm out somewhere and I see an owl, I think of that person. Now, we are not close enough friends for me to buy that owl for this person, but they are always in my mind every time I see an owl and I think about it.
Right.
Like, people can implant that type of bug in my brain. Like, I sent a picture to my friend Andy. Shout out to Andy. Um, Felt good friend of mine. He loves skulls. And I went with my friend Jesse, who had the last person, not the last interview you hear as of this recording, but the last, I mean, of this listening, but the last, nope. Anyway, my friend Jesse,
Who
Sales
you
is
have
sexy.
interviewed for the
Who I have
podcast at
interviewed for
some
the
point in
podcast.
time.
Who interview is Sales is Sexy. Went to go get her ear pierced. But not the lobe, but like the inside cartilage part,
Okay.
because that's supposed to help with migraines. Essentially, she gets bad migraines, so she was getting that pierced, and she wanted somebody to go with her. So I was like, "Cool, I'll go with you to get the piercing done and be there to suffer with you, and then we can walk and you can have somebody to tell how much it hurt or what have you." Um, and we're at the tattoo shop, and they had this really cool, like, colorful rainbow skull. And oh, cool, man. I took a picture of it, sent it to my friend Andy, like, hey, bro, just thinking about you. I know how much you love. Every time I see a skull, I think about you. Hope things are going well. Happy holidays. Boom. Right. So sometimes it's a gift of I'm thinking about you. Sometimes
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have to purchase it and send it, right? Because I'm also trying to get away from stuff versus experiences. And if I can give you the experience of seeing what I saw, because the experience is basically, I am thinking of you. This made me
Right.
think of you. That's the experience. You don't necessarily have to have the thing that made me think of you, right? If I send you a picture of it, then you quote unquote have the thing, at least an image of it, and you know that I sent it to you because it's under my name of the person who sent it to you. So, I do it in that direction. Yeah, I love, but I definitely love giving gifts. One of my favorite things. I also like getting gifts. So, listeners, if you're also a gift giver, you can feel free to gift me. I'll say it right here and now. I love getting gifts at any time, anywhere, any day. It makes me smile. Um, the best gift you can give us now, of course, is becoming a subscriber to the podcast. I think all
Oh, for
podcasts should
sure.
say that kind of shit, but it's true. You're welcome to become a patron of the podcast. It'd be the greatest gift uh, uh, to support Big Sexy Digital Nomad. I tell you what, I'm really excited for tonight. We're going to. There's a big cathedral in the Malaga Center, and on one of the towers they have a projection of a Christmas show, right? And it's like the digital projection. Like if you've been to Disney, you see the way they project on the Magic Castle.
Yeah.
You see that they do that same thing, but on this tower with this cathedral. And I saw a bit of it last night, and I was, oh man, that'd be really great. So for date night tonight, I'm going to take the missus. We're going to go check that out. And then there's this really delicious Argentinian all-you-can-eat steakhouse, like
Ooh.
Fogo de Chao or whatever, or Texas de
Yeah. Now
Brazil.
you're talking my
Yeah.
language.
So we're going to go there to eat afterwards, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm really excited about that. So
Dude, I hope you're not
listeners,
eating all day. Like you gotta just prep for that.
I had a little bit to eat, and then I'm good. And
I mean, you gotta keep yourself,
yeah,
standing straight up,
yeah.
of course.
I didn't go completely without, but oh no, I got room. I got room. I'm glad we're gonna tear it up, and it's great. And I mean, let's play this game. How much do you think it costs? Knowing like Fogo de Chao, knowing Texas de Brazil prices, knowing that we're in Spain,
Yeah.
what do you think the ticket price for the all-you-can-eat meal is? It includes the salad bar as well, and
Right.
then a wide array of meats that include a filet mignon, bacon wrapped chicken sausage, lamb,
Picanha. That's
regular
one of my
chicken,
favorites.
carne, steak. Yeah. What do you think the ticket price is?
I am going to say that in United States dollars, you're spending somewhere in the $22 to $23 range.
Very good. Yes, sir. It's €21, 21.95 euros.
And the
So
euro's pretty close to the
about
dollar.
$24
Woo! I
American.
was real fucking close.
You were
Like
real fucking close.
not the
Yes,
inner
indeed.
bullseye, but the outer bullseye for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Woo!
Now, how much would that meal be at a restaurant in America?
50 plus
At least.
holiday season. Well, we're not talking about Vegas strip pricing, but like there is a independent establishment, same style near my house, and I want to say that their normal price is like 55 or 59,
Right.
and it's
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
rundown.
Right.
So I I haven't been. I can't think of when the last time I was in a Fogo was. It was probably a year ago. I need to report. I need you to report back for me if they have squeaky cheese.
They don't.
Have you been before?
Yes, I've been to where we're going tonight. Before, yeah.
Gotcha.
Restaurant called Imperio, and I don't think I've seen squeaky cheese as an option.
Ask them about it. Just they'll know what it is if you say squeaky cheese.
Okay.
So the independent one doesn't have this, at least not yet, but the Fogo de Chao chain certainly does. And I don't know about
this one's not a Fogo de Chao. This
right.
This one's called Imperio.
Yeah. And I've been to a bunch of different ones over the years because once I found this restaurant concept, I kind of fell in love with it. Because the quality of the meat cuts, and my apologies to any vegans or vegetarians out there that might be listening, certainly not the ideal restaurant for you. But the salad bar is great. But why me going to a higher end steakhouse where you're spending a comparable amount of money for the steak and then you're buying the sides a la carte and you're only getting what you're getting. This is such a better option because to me, you get variety. The quality is on par with the higher end steakhouse. You get as much as you want. You can try different stuff. You can stay in a lane, whatever you want. I've experienced a bunch of different concepts, but probably about 2 years ago ish, the Fogo chain started rolling out what is, I don't know what I'm going to look it up here real quick to get the real name for it. There is a type of cheese that we refer to as squeaky cheese or sometimes honey cheese, because the way that when you're eating it, it kind of like it feels like it squeaks. It's very difficult to describe. And I'm trying to find the name of the actual cheese itself, but it's like a baking cheese or a frying cheese. I'm just trying to search different. Here we go. Queso de Frere is the stuff. And you cut it into, at least this is the way that it is made at Fogo. They're cut into these little strips that are probably about an inch wide, 4 or 5 inches long. You could just say it's 8 inches long if you're trying to get her into bed and just recognize that it's probably only 4 or 5 inches.
Don't show her, just tell us 12 inches.
Right. So they fry it. It's covered in like honey glaze and some red pepper flakes, and it's not super spicy, but it's got a little kick when you get those spots that have one of the seeds or whatever in. And this shit is to die for. We were at one of the one of those bulk clubs, Costco or BJ's or something like that, a month or so ago, and they had this package of queso de frere, Freir, if I'm saying that wrong, so that people know what it is.
Queso de frere. Frere, isn't that brother in French? Mon frere? Oh, that's Frere.
Well, I mean that the first word queso kind of clues you in that the third word is not French.
Right.
So the brand, I'm looking at it right now because this is exactly what we bought at whatever club that we bought it at. I don't remember which one because we got memberships to 2 of them. But it's the brand that we bought was called Tropical, and it took me like 2 tries to get it very effing close to the way that it was presented at the Fogo.
Yeah,
and this shit's amazing.
We'll have to take your word for it because I don't really do cheese.
If you love cheese, it's kind of one of those things. If you don't love cheese, it who cares? It's not.
Only cheese I like is mozzarella, which is why I really want to go to Super Frequent one day.
Oh yeah, coast to coast. Now I don't know. I think we mentioned that probably in a previous episode because I went to the one in Atlantic City, took some friends there. All you do when you go places like that is it's kind of like that ICS obelisk scheme where I've now passed the torch of obsession with tableside mozzarella to another couple.
Nice.
And it's only a matter of time until they're there, until
With a
they
different couple.
are at Super Frico at a time that I can't make it. Because let's just be honest, I don't go out of my way to go to Atlantic City.
Right.
And they'll take somebody else with them maybe, and then just continue that chain down the line. But yeah, that tableside mozzarella. Funny enough, I was actually talking to somebody about that earlier today. Yes. So yeah. So I've got some. I got an insider scoop that I don't think I should reveal fully here, but I want to drop some hints at.
Oh yes. Please share away. Oh, with your finger on. We need a finger on the pulse sound. We don't have it.
Yeah. So I am going to be very cryptic, but for regular listeners, especially like our OG listeners, this won't be cryptic at all. This will be a puzzle that's very easy for you to piece together. Big Sexy and I saw a Vegas show surrounding the time that we did one of our only We're All at the Same Place episodes. And we probably announced on here, or at least mentioned on here, that the star of that show, the host, the headliner, again, it was very amorphous what the title was for that individual.
Because and if you saw the show, it was amorphous what his title was even still.
Yeah. Truly the star of the show. That may not have been a title, but
definitely the star of the show.
So that, he was there on a year-long contract. We interviewed him on this podcast and asked him and had conversations about escape rooms and other things that he didn't discuss on any of the other podcasts, where he was asked all the same questions and told a lot of the same stories.
Yeah. Although now that fucker has gone to another podcast and talked about being in escape rooms and has since chatted about the things that we chatted about.
That's fine.
But we got there first. We got there first.
So anyway, his contract ended, as they do, and is now, to my understanding, back in his original city. So he went from the actual city to an establishment named after that city, back to that city.
Right.
We're out of clue. These are Paul Mattingly clues that I'm giving you now. Anyway, left that post. We hadn't really had any updates on that show. I went to a show last night. The headliner of that show is taking that role. And it's another. So this person was here from Vegas.
Did you hear it? You heard it from the person. He didn't say in the show. Did you talk to him like after the show, or did he make a side announcement? Or
this was not a formal announcement. Which, if it were a formal announcement, I would just be coming right out and saying it.
Right.
To be clear, because I'm about to say something that will be the most confusing part of this, and then I will clarify it so that the research can be done by anybody who cares to dig into this, which I believe that his first show on that stage will be 2 days after this episode airs. So it's not like I'm really bursting some fucking bubble. Right. They had actually already been announced formally by the time that this episode airs. However, I will say that this is somebody who currently lives in Las Vegas. This person has substituted for a Las Vegas headliner who is a comedy magician who has a show at 3 p.m. And this is, so now if you know the history of the funny guy who moved his show from Harrah's to an establishment that is more suited to his name, you may have two people in mind. And I will tell you that the person who's going to be taking the stage we just described, his name has not once ever been mentioned on this podcast. So we've eliminated Matt Donnelly from that being the person. So it's the other guy who, if you know who has subbed for the ruler of Disneyland in Las Vegas, as we continue to drop weird hints here, you'll be seeing him on that other stage right across Tropicana Boulevard.
Yeah,
right. That's the Trop.
On the corner of Trop and LVB.
Yeah.
Yep. They give you four options of what it can be.
And it's not Copperfield's home.
Yep.
And it's still going to be there in 3 years.
Maybe. I mean, we hope so.
Well, one of them we think is potentially going to be a baseball stadium. So not that corner.
Right.
Anyway, that's enough.
That's enough. So yes. So that's the
that's me not dropping info that I don't have.
Right. But
because nobody has told me.
As a matter of fact, if you think you know who it is, leave us a comment. Hit us up on social media and do hashtag spoiler alert at Big Sexy Nomad. Hashtag spoiler alert. The magician is, or the comedian is, or the host is, or the new person is, or the entertainer is blank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will tell you, if you don't know who this person is, fucking hilarious. Totally different style of funny than the former host of this show. Different style of funny for the person that he has subbed for. Different style of funny than the other person whose name we did mention on this podcast before, who has also subbed for that guy. All very, very funny people in their own ways. So super original. Definitely, when the name is dropped, will and it's formally announced, I highly encourage anybody to go and see the show that is one of the feature shows at one of the Las Vegas hotels that I stay at regularly.
Maybe we'll take it. Maybe we'll do when you're back in town, when you're back in Vegas, because I'm hopefully maybe going to try to be in Vegas at the same time.
Yeah.
Maybe we organize a little trip to go see the show and then we can rate it again. And then we'll have another episode where we'll actually talk about the show and discuss its changes.
Right. And I've already, and I confirmed from this individual, because the schedule is going to be a little different for him, because he's not doing the same straight through one whole year burnout schedule that this organization is known for, because that's just their show schedule. So he'll be on some and off some. And I confirmed that when I'm out there for the Hypnosis Summit, that he will in fact be on. So I'll reach out to him at an appropriate time, and we will certainly, if assuming that our stars can align, we will make that happen.
That'll be awesome. I love how difficult Cryptic spoilers are.
No, I think it's more fun that way, because
it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable, but it is a tightrope walk. You know, you're like, how much information can I give? And
the best part is that I can click here and I can go over to bullwithabutthole.com where I'm logged in. I can click create. I can click text. I can hit, where do I do it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, that's on the next one. The new host of
blank.
It's fucking
blank.
And then a name.
The new host of is There you go.
And then I click next, and then I select tiers, and then it's basically I'm going to hit back because this is going to post before the episode, of course.
Right.
You
Can
didn't hear.
can you schedule the text, or does it publish immediately?
I'm about to find out.
It's hilarious because our Patreon members who get that information immediately,
Schedule post.
There you go. Boom.
Our episode will drop on Wednesday, the 27th.
So if you just schedule it for Wednesday, the 27th, this episode will still drop prior to your text dropping, because yours is going to drop on your time zone and mine will drop on my time zone.
Right.
So technically our episodes drop late Tuesday night, I think, is my understanding. I know that happens on the Yuba Tuba. Because of the time difference. Because before I was trying to do the time difference math, and I got tired of it. I said, no, I'm just going to drop it at midnight Wednesday, wherever I am. All episodes of any podcast that I do drops midnight wherever I am in the world.
When you're listening to Big Sexy Digital Nomad, you want big sexy time.
That's right. That's right. Love it, man.
That would have been a perfect spot to cue in some bedroom music. So,
right. So all we have is
sweat house or whatever.
That's all we have.
That is not bedroom.
That is not.
Unless you're like a Jeopardy nerd.
That depends on the bedroom. Truthfully, I mean, depends on what you want to get into. You know.
True story. True story.
Yeah, I have to find some cool, very sexy music. I did discover the other day that like I had woken up like very, very tired, and my voice when you wake up really tired and when your voice drops a few octaves, I'm oh man, I need to get on the microphone right now. I record the podcast. I need to get in here and get in here and be like, yeah, baby, hey, welcome to Big Sexy World Digital Nomad. It's your boy Big Sexy talking to you. It was deep and lovely and moved me to my soul. I enjoyed it. Yeah, man, but I'm so looking forward to this coming holidays to see how it's going to be. New Year's is going to be fun. Shout out to Kelsey and Cammie who invited us over to their home to celebrate New Year's. That'll be interesting. I am going to be drinking for New Year's. I will be taking. So they have this no sugar added, non carbonated watermelon drink, right?
Okay.
And so I'm going to take that and some vodka.
All right.
And I'm going to drink that the whole night long, and have a blast. And the funny, because none of them have seen me drink ever. And I told them, I said, yeah, I said, I'm drinking at the party, and you're going to see a different Big Sexy.
You've met Big Sexy.
Yeah.
Are you ready for Big Sexy Real?
Yeah. That's right. The real Big Sexy. Be ready. Get ready. Yes.
Oh, hell
so
yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Man, well, you got any upcoming shows in the new year?
Yes, we've got January 6th, first Saturday in January. We are doing a fundraiser show for my kids' school. You may recall last year that fundraiser show was the Matt Donnelly show.
Yes.
I would imagine that when we started this episode, we intended to name drop him 0 times, and now we're at 2.
Well, he kind of creeps in that way. He's a creeper.
Oh, I mean, the one time that we name dropped him was to not name drop him, but it
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a cool show. That's going to be, and then the Atlanta show, January 20th at Georgia Tech. Those tickets should be available pretty soon.
I don't know what's happening.
Okay.
I don't know what that noise was.
And the schedule, we're taking calls and emails all the time about filling in more spots on this fundraiser tour, so to speak. It's not a traditional tour, but it is a goal that we have to have our show be responsible for helping nonprofits raise
money,
$100,000 in 2024
right?
by booking, hosting our show. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll definitely make that goal in 2024. I see that being into fruition, and put that on the vision board, and we'll make sure the stars align together, and it works out. And we'll get folks in contact and to help with that scenario as well. Cool deal.
And then at some point in time, I think, did I announce? I probably didn't yet because the tickets still aren't for sale, because the bane of my existence is dealing with other people and them being responsible for things, because I'm somebody who just does something when it's time to do it.
Right.
The Leap Day William Leap Day extravaganza is coming. There will be a formal announcement when those tickets are available.
We have talked about that briefly.
Yeah. Yes, episode 6, no, 65. Season 6, episode 9, if you want to know. But I'm saying of 30 Rock.
Right.
Season
right, yeah.
6, episode 9.
Yeah. An episode 67, I think you gave homework, or 68.
Right. Homework. So I mean, that announcement.
How am I talking about episode 67 or 68? What's wrong with me, Judge? I said on episode 67 or 68 because you said 69. My brain was like, but we haven't done 69 yet. This is only episode 66.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We need to do the math. We need to do the math.
Stupid.
Not that math, but is episode 80 the penultimate episode for us? The benchmark episode, whatever you want to call it, the goal. Mm-hmm. We have to do the math on the calendar, find out approximately when that's going to be, and will that be the appropriate time to select the winner for the whiskey barbecue ticket?
I know the math now. Keep talking.
Yeah. So as everybody knows or is about to know, that Scoop Fest is coming. It starts May 11th. I will not be able to be there. Big Sexy, probably not, although I know that you've got some wheels moving in the background to maybe make that a reality. I had, before knowing about my conflict, had purchased the tickets, including the VIP barbecue, Jacob's Whiskey barbecue. So I have found a home for the regular Scoop Fest ticket. That one's been reallocated. However, that person had purchased knowing that it would sell out, had purchased their whiskey barbecue ticket. So I've got this one whiskey barbecue ticket to give away. So you write to us, you join the Patreon, you know, any of those kind of things are ways to be entered into this drawing. And if the math works out, we'll give it away during episode 80.
What I realize is one of us needs to be a guest on ICS to reach more scoops and mention that contest there. I'm also trying to become a guest on
Hey buddy, nice podcast.
And I'll mention it there. So I want to get some places so I can mention these the contest in places. You know what I'll do? I'll write in so I can't be there in person, I will write in a letter, some scoop mail. To the boys.
Now I'm looking to see what day did I book my flight yet?
March 27th or April 3rd, depending upon if I'm doing the math right. Will be episode
Thursday 2-1. March, you said?
Either March 27th or
plenty of time.
April 3rd.
Plenty of time. It's a good month plus till Scoop Fest, and you weren't going to this thing anyway without this ticket. So, you know, it's not like, because it's sold out. It was sold out probably the first week.
Right. It sold out quickly, which is why I want to give them a heads up that we have one to give, so they can also help with that information as well.
Yeah. So,
and to promote the podcast, you know, get more
why
subscribers
not?
And more engagement. But yeah, if you want to engage, you want to subscribe, go to, all the places at Big Sexy Nomad, everywhere we are. Go to bullwiththebutthole.com or simply follow any of the links that are down below in the anywhere you see the episode. I'll put all the links of every link everywhere that we are. Click on the link and reach out, communicate with us. We'd love to hear from you.
That's right.
And in the meantime, safe travels.
Safe travels.